Hey, real quick, this is Jonah from the future. Most of this video is obviously centered around the Orient Bambino second generation and the different straps that make this watch look a billion times better than the factory strap. Well, there was one dilemma that was central to the video. This is a 21 millimeter lug width on this watch. So should we get a 20 millimeter strap or a 22 millimeter strap? Which one will look better? I have a definitive answer. I'll come back at the end of this video to share my final thoughts and also give you some more video of the different strap options that make this watch just look amazing. All right, back to the past, back to the regular video. Welcome to the basement headquarters of the 1010 Club. The Orient Bambino, possibly the best value for money watch ever. Like when you look at the stats, in-house, hackable, hand-winding movement. That's actually all I really care about for the price that I paid for my Bambino. I mean, 80 some odd dollars is what I spent on an Amazon warehouse deal on this Orient Bambino, and I love this freaking watch so much. So much. I resisted getting this watch for so long because I thought it looked corny, especially on the original strap. There wasn't anything pulling me to it. Also, it was a little bit smaller. I have a bigger wrist. It's also thinner. I have a bigger wrist. I like chunkier, heavier watches. But when I got my first Casio, I realized that there was a whole nother world out there when it came to smaller, daintier, dare I say, watches. I'll do some overlay while I'm doing this intro by showing you when I first got it out of the box. Part of my preconceived notions was justified. I do not like it on that factory patent leather looking strap. It was inflexible, it was small, it was almost thicker than the watch, and it was just too fancy. I thought I couldn't really change out that strap until I did. And the first one looked awesome. And then the second kind of green NATO also looked awesome. The only trouble was the Orient Bambino has that 21 millimeter lug width. It's a very awkward lug width, so my NATOs I had were 22. I do have a solution though. Let's go to the bench. Let's look at this watch with its brand new strap. I think this is going to look stellar and we can get into this watch just a little bit more. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, the 51 green. So the reason I got this strap is it does look similar to this guy, except it's just a little dressier. It kind of has a shimmer to it. And I saw it on a Grand Seiko and I thought it just looked awesome. The only issue is they don't have 21 millimeter straps either, so this is actually a 20 millimeter strap. I really hope it works out. Ooh, there it is. Hold on, let me peek around the camera. Yeah, that looks great. So it's more of like a seat belt than the original NATO, so I hope it shows up. You can see how this is like glimmering more. I feel like that is the last touch to really make this watch, because it is a dress watch, right? It's high polish, so maybe this was a little bit too dressed down, but look at how high polished these keepers are, and the seatbelt texture I think looks really, really cool. And there you go. Okay, so let's zoom in and let's look at the lugs. Let's see how big of an issue this is going to be. This is a 20 millimeter band with a 21 millimeter lug width. It's a little obvious. I think that looks awesome. That is an upgrade and a half. So I'll show you the original. It's about $10 probably I bought this for. It's thick. It is not soft. And it is matte. This one is thinner. It's glossy. And the thing I'm most happy about, can I turn my wrist? It has a shorter strap. I know a lot of people love getting that NATO up here and folding it back over. That was actually my main issue with this original NATO strap. It was so long, and when I did the fold over, as you can see, it's still bent. It came up like right here. And this is such a clean watch and such a minimalist watch that it just added this weird bulk that even though I loved the way the color combinations worked, I did not like how it was bulky. Yes, it is a little small. And I'm going to have to live with that and see how I feel about it. But all right, let's do some perspective. Hey, clean up your workbench. Sorry. So let's look at this watch just a little bit more closely. The reason I didn't buy this watch originally was it took, for some reason, a long time of looking at these style watches to start liking like the Dauphine hands. I don't even know how to... Dauphine? You know, the hands that are wide and then they get skinny. Also like the kind of toothy indices. Ooh, I need to wipe that, sorry. For the longest time, I did not like that combination until I saw a price tag of $85 on Amazon Warehouse. I said, okay, I'm going to buy it. Everyone talks about these things. So I pulled the trigger. Mostly I was interested in, number one, hand winding, which I'm doing right now. I had not owned a hand winding watch up until this point. And the dome. I freaking love domed crystals. That's my main issue with the Recraft that I own, is that it's a flat, boring crystal. This looks awesome. I will say it's kind of weird that I don't like that the dial is also domed. They do advertise that the dial underneath is domed along with the crystal, which does give it a different look, but you can kind of tell, like you can't see the flat crystal the flat dial anywhere because it's domed with the crystal. I actually don't like that. I wish it was a flat dial with a dome crystal because I do love the relief and the kind of different levels that it provides. There is still some distortion, which is awesome. Signed crown. Another thing, if you are new to collecting watches, a lot of people make a big deal out of signed crowns. Take it or leave it. And like, this is the biggest you'll ever see it is in this camera. I'm also zoomed in. In real life, this thing looks just like a scuff. So either I have a bad quality engraving or engraved crowns do not matter. Let's zoom back out. Another tip for the uninitiated. I wasn't ready for how loud the rotors are in Orients. I had to look it up afterwards, and it is a very common problem. Not only can you hear it, you can feel the rotor go. Whoo. And for a while, I didn't like it. I thought it kind of felt cheap, or just like the loudness of it made it seem like it wasn't well made, until I started thinking of it as like a nice quirk. And from then on out, not only did I not really notice it, when I did notice it, I actually enjoyed it, thinking, oh, there goes the rotor again. But also, this is my first 40 millimeter watch, and I thought it'd be too small, but it isn't, especially because this dial is, the bezel is so thin, it really gives more real estate up to the dial. I think it just pops on this strap. What a beautiful, high quality strap. Let me know in the comments if you have lived, though, with a strap that is slightly smaller than your watch. I ended up living with the 22, this guy, and actually liking it, so hopefully I could do it with this one also. I just absolutely love this watch. I love this watch so much, I slept with it the first night in bed. I slept with it on my wrist in bed. This watch will make you fall in love with watches again if you fell out of love, or just remind you of why you got into watch collecting in the first place. At least that's what it did for me. This is a humble watch, an $85 watch. Yes, I know that's not the list price, but still a humble watch with an in-house movement. Something about that combination, it feels good, and I'm proud to wear this watch. I'm happy to wear this watch. I feel like I'm carrying on a tradition by wearing this watch. And I guess that is all I have to say about the matter. I feel good when I wear it. I don't want to take it off. Every time I reach for something else, I say, nah, let me just wear this for a little bit more. I almost feel like I'm wearing history, even though it's a newer watch, if that makes any sense. Please do subscribe below. Starting this channel, if I actually have no idea when you're watching this, but if you're watching it in 2020, this is a brand new channel. I'd love to start a community here, so please do subscribe below. I hope you don't see the dust in here, because I certainly do. Hey, future Jonah again. So the main question during that video was, if you are putting a NATO strap on the Bambino, do you go 20 millimeter, which is a little bit too thin, and show the spring bar, or do you go 22 millimeter and you kind of have to shove it in, but it fills up the whole area? Well, I've had this watch for another week or two, and definitively I can tell you, go 22. Go bigger, you will not regret it, especially if it's a nicer strap like this that's more pliable. I cannot stand seeing the little bit of a spring bar that I can see. I thought maybe I could look past it. Maybe I was even hoping that the strap would spread out with wear. It doesn't. I can see a little bit of the spring bar and I can't handle it. I'm gonna have to go ahead and order another strap, and these aren't cheap straps, but I think it will be worth it. So if you're in between sizes on a NATO strap, I'm here to tell you from literally personal experience over the past few weeks, go a millimeter bigger. You will not regret it. Let me also show you just one more time a couple of the other strap options that are 22 millimeter. I showed you briefly earlier, but the olive NATO strap, it's a little thicker, harder to manipulate, so it did take a little bit more effort to get the strap in to wear the watch with it. However, I think it looks awesome. Also, the brown leather strap, this strap got beat to hell, and it used to be on a bigger watch, so the leather doesn't really form around it perfectly, but you can see with the color combination where the potential is with that strap and watch combination as well. So you'll love an Orient Bambino if you get one. And if you're getting a NATO strap for it, go 1 millimeter bigger. It's gonna look way better and you're gonna be a lot happier. All right, total end of the video from past and future me. Thanks one last time. I'll see you soon.